Have you applied to some schools and haven't heard anything back yet about an interview? If this sounds like you, then definitely stick around because I'm going to share with you guys some tips on what to do to get that interview. Hey guys, my name is Laura and this is actually my third video. This is actually my third video in my Get That Dream Teaching Job series. I have the whole playlist linked down in the description below, so if you want to check that out, feel free. Today, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys a few tips on how to actually land that interview that we all want. We want that chance to get in and speak and explain ourselves and share our passion with the principal and interviewer. But if you're looking more for like the resume tips and how to pick the right school for you type of video, I made a reference earlier to a playlist and series that I have been working on, and I have a couple videos that I recently posted about those two things, so definitely go down in the description, check that out if that's something that you're more looking for. But I would suggest watching this video because this might help you as well once you've actually applied to jobs. So let's get started. All right, so the first tip and the most important thing that I say you have to do is you need to email the principals immediately after applying to the teaching position. Like, you hit submit and immediately, like the second right after, go onto the school's website, find the principal's name and let them know that you've applied. So I do this every single time, even if like the position was posted like a month ago and I've applied to it, I still email them because you never know, like whoever they hired may have backed out and they're about to post the job again, whatever it is. Crazy things happen in the world of teaching, so you never know. Email the principal. You told them the position you've applied for, you told the principal why you want to work for their school, and you've told them that you've attached your resume, that basically that's sharing your experience with them. You may even want to include reference letters. I didn't even write this down in like my script or anything, but I just thought of this off the top of my head. You can include reference letters if you have some, like a PDF copy of them from like your old principal or your old boss or something. That might be nice too. But anywho, the last thing is you definitely want to ask, like do a call to action. So ask them if they would be able to set up an interview with you, or that you would love to go and speak with them more about the position. And that kind of gives them a reason to email you back. So worst thing that's going to happen is you never get an email back from them, or you get an email back from them saying they've hired someone else, and that's the worst thing that's going to happen if you do that. So I would say you have to email. You have to. Now, if you applied to a position a week ago and you're just watching this video now because you're like, why haven't I gotten an interview? Don't freak out that you didn't email them right away. Email them now. Let them know that you've applied, and maybe add on to the end of the email that you're just curious if they've hired anyone or started interviewing yet, and you'd love to hear back from them. And then just make sure you start emailing from now on when you apply. So tip number 2 to get that interview is to actually go to the school. Now, I know that this is kind of a touchy subject right now, and you might not be able to do it specifically right now, probably when this video is coming out, because of the whole world situation. But if for some reason your schools have opened up in your area and you are able to go into the school, I would say do it. Print out a bunch of resumes and cover letters, attach them together, and bring them with you to the schools that you've applied to. Now, even if you haven't applied to a school and they're not hiring right now, you can still go drop off a resume and ask to speak to someone. Usually you just enter into the school, the receptionist is usually there, and you say, hi, I applied to this position. I just wanted to come in and see if I could speak with anyone or interview with anyone. Is the principal around or the assistant principal around? Worst thing that they're gonna say is no. I've gotten no, they're in a meeting. I've gotten no one's available, like we'll call you. And usually they'll just take your resume and your cover letter and say that they'll drop it off at the principal's mailbox, and that's usually it. But sometimes the principal will be around for you to speak to, and there you go, you get your little bit of interviewing right then and there, whether that be the actual interview or whether it be just you're in to get an interview. I actually got a position off of doing this. My first teaching position, when I substitute taught for 6 months, I went in and dropped off a resume at a school that I had applied to 2 weeks before, and I didn't even think they were still hiring, but it was on my way home and I was like, oh, might as well stop, drop one off, and I did, and I was able to speak to the principal and I got the job, and I ended up working at that school for basically 3 years. So you never know. You could get a position off of it, so try it if you're able to. If not, definitely email is like your next best bet. So the third tip is to do a phone call follow-up is what I call it. So whether you've just emailed or you have dropped off resumes or you've done both, I suggest both if you can, sooner rather than later, which I'll touch on later. Try calling. Try calling and just, you know, asking them, hey, like, I applied to this position. I'm just wondering if you guys have started interviewing or if you've hired anyone. Again, worst comes worse, you'll hear, oh, you know, we already hired someone, or oh yeah, we started interviewing already. If they've already started interviewing, you're probably not going to get an interview, just in my experience. That means they've picked who they wanted to interview, and that's who they're going to go based off of. Now, if they haven't started interviewing yet, that's a good sign for you, because that means that you could possibly get an interview still. So at that point, you would ask them, you know, when am I going to hear back about an interview? Like, should I expect a call in the next couple days, or are you guys not interviewing for a little while? And they'll usually tell you it'll be a couple of days. So if you don't hear back from them, then you know you can move on. So worst comes to worst with those phone calls, you know, you just say thank you for your time and move on. Now, my last step, this is for if you've applied to all these positions, you've emailed, you've dropped off resumes, you've made your phone call follow-ups, and you still haven't gotten an interview. My last thing is just keep applying. If you're sitting around waiting for that school to call you back or to email you back about an interview, you're kind of wasting time when you could be applying to more schools and giving yourself more opportunities to get an interview. So just keep applying. I know my district that I'm applying in is huge. They post multiple jobs daily. So I check every single day to see if there's a new position that I want. So definitely check the school's websites, the district websites, whatever it may be, and keep applying. So my next video is going to be all about what to wear to the interview when you've actually gotten an interview offer. And yeah, I'm gonna do a little fashion haul. It'll be fun. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe so you don't miss it. Definitely check out my playlist below so you can get all my tips and tricks on what to do to get that teaching job that you've always wanted. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. I hope I wasn't out of focus this whole video.